Perfect.
Car Scott Anderson, 97 on the ticket. Open lines 248-539-9797. Okay, so Gator, I was driving out of Columbus a little bit and listening to some of the post game, and there was a lot of angst over Ryan Day, as one would expect, and probably the call for him to punt, the situation that he made to punt. Michigan's up 24-20.
I don't know.
It's late third quarter.
The black truck
Ohio State
is starting to get beat up.
From the Michigan 43.
Yeah.
And that's the play where C.J. Stroud is waving at Day to leave the punt team off the field.
Certainly
He's trying to stay
is.
on the field. And Day sends the punt team out. Do you remember this scenario?
I do, but I'm looking at the play. I'm trying to find it in the play-by-play on.
About 6 minutes
Okay,
ago.
yes, no, I got it. I got you. Okay, I hear.
So Ohio State lines up, and they have an illegal snap. The snapper kind of twitches the football. Flag flies. If they'd gotten Michigan to jump there, it would have been an automatic first down.
Right.
But this is my theory, okay? I think they did it on purpose to try and get Michigan to jump, but B, to also
Oh, do you have
take
any
away
deal flags?
the thought that they were going to fake the punt, because you wouldn't often fake the punt after the 5-yard penalty. I think it's
Do you have
fourth and
the deal
four.
flags?
Given the time and score, Michigan probably is suspicious of a fake, but it kind of seems obvious. So anyway, Jim Harbaugh on the Big Ten teleconference yesterday said, we kind of got lucky. Ohio State had a tell on their fake punt, and we knew to look for it. They did it, and we missed it. We missed it. And on 4th and 9, the punter, if you watch that play again, first of all, they lined up differently. Secondly, the punter seemed surprised that the ball got snapped to him. Third, if you watch what Ohio State's up men do, they all start to block for what looks like a run to the left. Again, just a theory here, but Harbaugh thinks that they were going to fake that punt. Excuse me. He thinks that they were just going to fake that punt. They didn't.
Yeah, we want to get on the freeway.
Was the following. Watching Ohio State's punt formations prior to that, they had two up men. Mitch Rossi, a tight end, and Tommy Eichenberg, a linebacker. They were aligned with Rossi on the left, Eichenberg on the right on their previous punts.
Perfect.
Including the false start. After the false start, they were inverted. Rossi was on the right, Eichenberg was on the left. When the ball gets snapped, it looks like Eichenberg is a lead blocker. I think the snap, again, my theory, the snap was supposed to go to Rossi, and he was going to run left. And the punter seemed surprised the ball got to him. You see guys on Ohio State's team turning around and looking. He punts the ball, goes into the end zone. I don't think Day was really meaning to punt there. What do you think?
I think it's interesting, and if that's true, it's really interesting. Because the previous possession, they had a 4th and 3 from their own 49. They chose to punt. I think that kind of tells you where they were at and why they just played so tight, so much pressure on everybody.
I made the good call.
It's true that it even came down to execution where they didn't know what they were supposed to do. Because it was the very next possession when they found themselves in that 4th and 4 that you're talking about from Michigan 43. I'm not sure why you don't just go for it anyway.
I figured
in that spot, but if you get a play later because you get the false start, now you're thinking about the fake punt. I think had they done it, I would have been like, that's a terrible call. Even if it even works, I'm like, that's terrible because it's 4th and 10. It's not 4th and 4 anymore, or 4th and 5. It's just not a down and distance that I feel comfortable going for a fake play. It'd be stupid, but if they had a call and they didn't do it, that's kind of shocking.
Well, that's the thing, right? Is does it make more sense for them to go for it with their offense or go for it with a fake punt?
Yeah, you can definitely debate that, Gator. Like, why would you do 4th and 10? This seems way harder, right? To mathematically, statistically, to
Certainly
do that.
more of a surprise,
Exactly. But when you told me about that this morning, Doug, I went and looked at it, and that was like a 40-yard gain, or if not a touchdown. Like, that's how wide open this play was. Like, they had it perfectly set up to fake. In fact, you talk about the punter being surprised, Doug, that he got the snap. He wasn't he almost missed the snap because he was taking off to the right to fake this. So he wasn't even expecting that. That ball was never supposed to be snapped. I mean, he had to actually stop, turn his body back to the left to catch the ball.
And now I remember that now.
Then he goes,
was.
because you know how he does that roll out to the right punt? When he goes there's 3 Michigan Wolverines right in front of him about to block the punt.
Block the punt.
So he's like, I got to get this thing off. And thank God for Ohio State, he did get it off. But, Doug, had they executed that play, that thing's like to the house maybe.
I mean, it had the look of a play that was going to work.
Yes, absolutely.
So anyway, I do, you look at and Jim Harbaugh said, we got lucky. Now, they knew what tells to look for, and I think it was Eichenberg and Rossi switching spots, because when they show the end zone shot on previous punts, 34 was on the left, 35 was on the right. Even after the first punt where they lined up and had the fake snap that they got flagged for, which again I think was intentional, backed them up 5 yards, but I think they wanted to have the element of surprise, and then they invert them there where 35 is on the left and 34 is on the right. And it's just, and Harbaugh said, we missed it, and we got lucky because they snapped it deep.
Well, that's at a point in the game, which is most important, as you pointed out. It's 24-20 Michigan at that point. So if they convert that, or as Ken seems to think they may be able to take it to the house, I mean, what a total change of momentum that would have been.
Ken, now would you agree with me? If they snapped it, do you think they were snapping it to 34? Do you think they were snapping it to Rossi, the tight end, and that he was supposed to run left and Eichenberg was the lead blocker?
Yes, I think that's what was supposed to be the play. But since he snapped it early into the punter, 35 almost gets in the way, actually, because he's the lead blocker here. And if they would have just waited, called set, go, or whatever, he snaps it to 34. That, like I said, he's got a lead blocker. There's nobody. It's like a huge gap, Gator, like a huge hole on the left side, and there's just nothing but open field and the return man back there. Wow. And this is a huge play, and I think to set up on a false start, balls, right? But in this game, we hear it all year long. They do things they don't do all year long, okay? Yeah. And they set up for this game. Yeah. The pass by the running back pass, the Tim Tebow type pass by Michigan ran. This play that they should have ran. Things like this happen.
Having your quarterback run.
Just stuff, and
connecting down to
this was a huge play they missed. And Harbaugh's right. I think they got lucky. They knew it, and they still got lucky.
They knew what to look for, but in the moment, like that's one of those plays where you probably call timeout. You probably go, oh wait, they've made the change. Quick, get a timeout and get your guys back on alert. Because I think at 4th and 4, they're on alert. Yes. I think at 4th and 9, they're not.
Well, I think they're thinking like you, Gator, where they go, okay, we see the tell, but there's no way at 4th and 11 they do this, right?
It's getting longer. It was 4th and 9.
4th and 9?
I think it was
play-by-play says 4th and 10, but I'll trust it. It was less than.
I'm looking at the screen. It says 4th and 11.
Does it?
I don't know.
Either way, whatever. It was after the false. It was after the fake snap. Look, it was a.
For 19 miles,
it was potentially a huge play. You got Dave's getting killed over punting, and I don't think Dave was intending to punt. I don't think.
I knew this was going to come
on
Wednesday.
Since
Commerce is going to be all backed up, going left on Hiller.
You might notice it. All right, we'll get to more Champ and Chump votes. We've got some line stuff to get to at 11:30. It's Carson Anderson, 97.1, The Ticket.
COVID-19 has had a devastating impact on members of our community, especially for those of us who have lost family members, friends, and neighbors. We want you to know that help is available from FEMA. If you paid or are still paying the cost of a COVID-19 funeral, you may qualify for up to $9,000 to cover your expenses. Just call 844-684-6333 or visit fema.gov/funeral-assistance.
Happy holidays. This is Thad Zott with Zott Auto Group and DealsInTheD.com. This week we're celebrating Giving Tuesday with our partners at Ally to support the Ronald McDonald House of Detroit. Ally has given $10,000 and we're asking for your help too. You can donate monetarily or with non-perishable foods, which can be dropped off at any one of our 6 locations, including White Lake, where Grunwald will be giving 10-man jam tickets away on Giving Tuesday. Go to the event page at WYCD.com for details.
The Black Friday sales event is on at Galliana's Van Dyke Dodge. Our huge new and used inventory are all marked down with huge discounts. Brand new 22 Dodge Durango GTs now leased for $233 a month for 24 months. This is a 7-passenger all-wheel drive Dodge Durango, just $233 a month. 22 Ram 1500 Bighorn Crew Cab 4x4 with 20-inch wheels, now $249 per month. A Ram Bighorn 4x4, just $249 a month. We're loaded with used Rams and are making deals for the best selection, price, and sales experience. You gotta go to Galliana's Van Dyke Dodge and Ram, Metro Detroit's largest Dodge dealer, on Van Dyke Avenue and 11 Mile, just north of 696, or go to VanDykeDodge.com. Sale ends this month, so hurry in and try the new Durango 7-passenger from $233 a month, or a well-equipped Ram 4x4 for $249 a month. Only at Galliana's Van Dyke Dodge and Orem, Metro Detroit's largest Dodge dealer for a reason. Ram lease for 39 months, both with factory employee discount, order loyalty at $39.95 due at signing, all rebates to dealer.
Some fans gear up for game day, but some fans follow their team every day. That's why the Locked On Podcast Network has a daily podcast for your favorite NBA team. Every trade, every overtime win, every game, our local experts cover the biggest stories around your team every day. Search Locked On plus your favorite NBA team on the Odyssey app or wherever you get podcasts. The Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Come to Lady Jane's for an award-winning haircut experience and register for a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity to win a down payment for your dream home up to $200,000. Lady Jane's open 7 days a week. Walk in anytime. It's wicked awesome.
Breaking news on 97.1 The Ticket is presented by BetQL. Smarter bets start with BetQL. Download the BetQL app or visit BetQL.com today. WXYT FM and WXYT HD1 Detroit. Always live on the free Odyssey app. Sports headlines. Live from the Jamie Samuelson studio. This is 97.1 The Ticket.
Brought to you by Mother Waddles. The Big Ten Championship game is set for Saturday evening, an 8 o'clock kickoff featuring Michigan versus Purdue in Indianapolis. Early odds have the Wolverines favored by 16 points after they laid waste to Ohio State and Columbus by 22. Michigan is number 2 in the AP Top 25 and coaches poll. The playoff rankings will be revealed tomorrow night by the committee. After not playing over the weekend, the Red Wings will attempt to extend their winning streak to 5 tonight at home against Toronto, but after yesterday's practice, former Wolverine Andrew Kopp was interested in talking about his football team, especially head coach Jim Harbaugh.
He does it his way, he's definitely very unique, and I don't think he cares what anyone else thinks. He's going to be himself, and obviously a great mind, and the way he's turned the program around from a couple years ago is pretty insane when every one of you guys' profession was calling for him to be gone.
Kopp did also say that he believes the lines are clicking right now for Detroit hockey, as they'll take on the Maple Leafs in downtown Detroit for a 7 o'clock start right here on 97.1 The Ticket. A change of leadership in Kalamazoo. Western football moving on from head coach Tim Lester following a 5-7 campaign. Lester thanked the school in a release after going 37-32 overall during his tenure. Western has partnered with a hiring firm to commence their search process for their next coach.
I know.
At the Ticket Update desk, I'm Chris Villar. For more, go to 97.1 The Ticket and Odyssey.com.
Live from the Jamie Samuelson studio, Karsh and Anderson on 97.1 The Ticket.
Karsh from the home studio today. Gator in the 1270 Command Center along with Kang. 248-539-9797. Let's get back to your open line call.
Or 97.1 The Ticket.
What'd I say?
Going old school.
Did I say 1270? How long have we not been 1270?
It's been 15 years.
Oh, yeah.
In, the fall of 07. So
Well, it's been a while since Michigan's beaten Ohio State, so maybe it just feels like I went back in time.
Well, they won last
We'll
year.
be back down in Detroit by.
Down there, since they won down there.
It's been since 2000. So.
Yeah.
For sure.
There you
Just
go.
when 1270 went on the air. That's what it must
For
be.
sure.
God, what the hell?
That's when we were all sports at 1270. 1270 plenty of
Plenty of time.
Yeah.
Yep.
But,
All right.
yeah.
We'll even have time to
Take
go
2
back
and
to
3,
the
2, 1. Carson Anderson continues here on 97
Cool.
on the ticket. Let's get back to your phone calls.
Then punch out at
The
Fairway
pressure from the home
Ridge.
studio. Gator from the 97.1 Command Center. We go to Eric next here on 97.1. What's up, Eric?
Yeah.
There is a slight possibility that I'm going to shake.
No, it's not.
It is what it is, Sean Gleason.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna start with Chum. And it's the I don't even want to call them fans.
Stay in the
Whatever's
second or third
happening
lane
in
for
Belgium
left.
after the Morocco win, and I know I'm sure there's politics involved and race issues with Moroccans in Belgium. I don't know if it's them celebrating a win or Belgium frustrated with the loss or a combination. It's just, but the scenes are they're just horrific. That does not belong in sport. It's just terrible to see. In terms of champ, I'm going to give it to Jim Harbaugh, but with kind of a nod, a parallel to Dan Campbell. Jim Harbaugh took a lot of criticism for a lot of things, namely his quirks, his sayings, climbing trees, overs, whatever. He's a weird dude. But the one thing that you can never question about Jim Harbaugh is his obsession with football and winning. It's like on the football spectrum, if I can say that. There's just something about Jim Harbaugh, but it's something that the team and the players he recruits buys into. He's had the same criticisms that Dan Campbell is having, clock management, questionable play call. By the way, the last minute of the first half, really bad clock management by Michigan. This has been a recurring thing. But the thing is, there's just something about Jim Harbaugh, and I think it's a lesson with Dan Campbell as well, where you kind of have to take which would you rather have? Someone who is building what feels like a culture that the team is buying into. And I think you can fix stuff like, clock management issues or fourth down calls. You can get people around you. But I think that taking all the criticism, every loss, every poor decision, and continually tweaking and learning and changing, but building a culture that has an identity and a team that plays for their coach and plays for each other. I think that's what we're seeing with Dan Campbell, and I think we can overlook a lot of these, weird quirks. I'm not saying Dan Campbell is Jim Harbaugh, I think, but I'm just saying I think there's a lot of parallels. So congrats to Jim. I mean, he's earned it, and I think when he says who's got it better than us, I think right now, outside of George, I'd say nobody. So
you're right about his obsession with winning, and that's he is such a football guy. And it's such a like the guy shows up at press conferences wearing cleats. He it's just it's right up just like you, Gator, showing up for Monsters of Rock.
You gotta be prepared
in case anything goes down. So I hear you. That's when you started saying you can't doubt about Jim Harbaugh, and when you said obsession with winning, I'm like, he's right. He is obsessed with winning. He's obsessed with football. So 248-539-9797.
Oh, nothing
We've connected
about your
via
ring.
Twitch. Thank you, Evan, and thank you, Ben. We had some issues, got it all sorted out. Mike is next on 97.1 The Ticket. What's up, Mike?
Hey, how you doing?
How you doing, sir?
Hey, my champ is definitely Jim Harbaugh. I mean, and my chump is definitely Ryan Day for that remark about he's going to bring up 100 on Michigan, and he hasn't won since. But, I mean, Harbaugh, for him to bring back that team that he brought back this year, and they're even better than they were last year, losing Hutchinson and Ajabo, whatever the safety's name was.
Dax Hill.
Dax Hill, yep. I mean, for him to bring back a better defense and a better offense, man, he put it down this year. But you guys don't talk enough about the Red Wings, man. They're playing good. They're playing good. You guys need to start talking about them. I mean,
what other than they're playing good, what do you get? What is it that stands out for you?
just the young nucleus and what Yzerman puts together. I mean, Yzerman's a wizard. And, I mean, those free agents that he put, Kubelik and Kopp and the defenseman that he got.
Well, there's no doubt this year's, and thanks for the call, Mike, this year's free agent class that Steve Yzerman brought in, these were players. These are really good players that help this team. They're not bridging a gap. These are players that are making this team competitive for a playoff spot earlier than people expected. These are some really nice signings. They've got nice trades he's pulled off. Husso is brilliant in net right now. Filip Hronek is playing his best hockey. He's got 10 points in his last 6 games. Offensively, this is a team that, you know, the power play is vastly improved. The penalty kill is better. But they're putting the puck in the net, and they're doing it a lot. And it's fun to watch, no doubt about it. Let's hope that it continues, and that once we get past football season, we still have something to talk about, the Red Wings.
Went to the game Wednesday night, and Husso was great. And I think Dylan Larkin is really starting to round into being as good as everybody thought he could be. And it's fun to watch. Let's go to Chuck next on 97.1 The Ticket. Hi, Chuck.
Hi, guys. So I have my chump for the weekend is the Ohio State player who decided to headbutt on the sideline. I don't think there was any need for that. I know it's the game and it was so big, but I don't feel like there was a need for that headbutt on the sideline at all.
Well, of course there wasn't. That's one of the dumbest things you could do in sports. Is, I mean, you totally hurt your team. I mean, 15 yards is beyond dumb. Beyond dumb. Don't care how much you were baited. You can't do that. Stupid.
Yeah, exactly. And then my champ actually goes to Doug. I've been listening to the games my entire life. I'm 27 years old. I've listened to Beckman and Brandstatter. And last year I got to actually go to the game, my first Ohio State-Michigan game in Ann Arbor. And then this year I got stuck working. And Doug, your call was amazing. That 75-yard touchdown call for Donovan Edwards gave me goosebumps, man.
Oh, great. I appreciate it. Thank you. It's an honor to get to do it, and it was pretty darn intense down there on Saturday. I'll tell you that. It was.
Well, you did a phenomenal job, man.
Thank you.
It was amazing.
I appreciate that. Thank you. 248-539-9797. Dave is next here on 97.1. Hello, Dave.
What's up, fellas? So I'm going to give a champ and an apology to Jim Harbaugh, because about a week and a half ago, you guys were having a show on the Michigan strategy to wear them down and come back in the second half, and I said it wouldn't play against Ohio State. I was wrong. It played really well.
People are assholes.
My chance to Harbaugh, my chump. And by the way, everybody's talking about how crazy Harbaugh is. How about comparing him to George Allen, if I'm not aging myself too much? Can you compare him to that guy? If you know who I'm talking, you guys
I know George Allen was.
The Washington Redskins back then.
What do you
He was a lunatic as well.
He was a loony. But that really goes back. I mean, you're talking the 70s, right?
Yes, late 60s or 70s. I would equate Harbaugh style to him a little bit. Anyway, and my chump is OBJ, getting kicked off a plane when you can pretty much pick whatever team you want to go to in a ring. He screwed himself over.
Yeah, that was really weird. I wonder what the rest of the story is there. I haven't seen any. Do you know what did they?
No, I haven't heard anything other than what you saw on the crawl with him. Refusing to get off the plane, and then he was in and out of consciousness, and they're treating it as a medical situation. I don't know what to think.
Let's go to Marlon next here on 97.1. Hi, Marlon.
Hey, guys. Good morning. How you guys doing today?
All right.
Awesome. I got a champ and jump, and then if you give me a second, I have a mock draft I want to ask you guys, because I was looking at it today, and it kind of turned my head a little bit.
All right.
So, my champ is Michigan, obviously. Dominating win in Ohio. First time in 22 years. Spectacular. I think the whole Michigan team gets credit. Harbaugh, the players, the fans, everybody, because we deserve that one. Jump, I'm going to go with the Pistons. The whole organization. I mean, I'm starting to get a little worried here. Now they want to trade Sadiq Bey. I mean, you're drafting these young players to build a team. Now you want to trade them away. So I don't know. Weaver's kind of worrying me in case he needs to go. I don't think this turnaround's going to happen anytime soon. So my chump is the Pistons.
Well, I don't know if they want to trade Sadiq Bey. Aren't there reports that they're getting calls about Sadiq Bey?
Yeah, they're saying that they're taking calls on it, which means they're going to listen. But I mean, don't you want to start
getting the team together that you want to build towards the future. I don't know. It's very frustrating because this team is just not winning.
I would listen to any and all offers. I would say that. If somebody's calling you about one of your players, you listen.
Yeah, sure, of course. Yeah, I just want to turn things around. I think Casey's not the guy, for the future, but I still got to jump him this week. That's just my vote. And then the mock draft I was looking at, just for argument's sake, because I know you guys like talking mock draft. I love it too. They showed the top 3 teams, and let's just say, for argument's sake, it stays like that. So you got Houston 1, Chicago 2, Rams 3, which is the Lions pick. Houston has a history of going defensive players, so, with Mario Williams, Clowney. So if they go, let's say, Will Anderson at 1, Chicago's not going to need a quarterback because they have Justin Fields. They'll probably go with Carter. So your top 2 defensive guys are gone at 1 and 2. So where does that leave the Lions? They take a Bryce Young. I don't really like C.J. Stroud, but I think that's the thing where you got to make the call and trade out because teams are going to want that position. Because if that's how it stays, I think defense goes 1 and 2 if that's how the order is going to be.
Marlon,
you guys take on it.
Well, thanks for the call, first of all. And I've been a pretty big proponent of going defense and expecting that that's what the positional lines would be in. But if you're telling me Bryce Young is available at 3, I can't pass on Bryce Young at 3. I think Bryce Young is a totally different kind of quarterback. He's got a rocket arm. He doesn't have ideal size, but he's bigger than I think people want to give him credit for. And he knows when to take off and run, and he knows how to protect himself when he takes off and runs as well. I really like Bryce Young. I think he's a total package, and I wouldn't pass on him.
At this point, I'd say you take Bryce Young. I worry about his size. I want to see, do they believe as they get closer, does he have the frame to put on more weight? There was a report last year that he weighed in at less than 180 pounds late in the year, but boy, I like a lot about him, and maybe I don't even care about that by the time I get around to the draft. I'm stunningly not very far down the draft preparation wormhole this year, Gator, and it's kind of nice. But he would be, at this point, the quarterback that
scared me.
In the early stages of getting ready for it, feels to me like the guy that you can't pass on. Now, outside of that, I would suspect that somebody would trade ahead of the Lions if they wanted a quarterback.
Almost got into an accident.
Yeah.
I don't think Houston's letting him go.
So, 248-539-9797. We'll get to some more Lions stuff at 11:30.
Almost hit us.
Michigan State to touch on the rest of the story on the jump pass as well. And the Michigan-Ohio State game. Lots to do on a Monday. Champ and Chump Votes. Thanks for all your calls and your texts and your comments on Twitch. Tweets as well. It's Carson Anderson, 97.1 The Ticket.
Now he's turning.
There's lots to celebrate from last week. I know lots of friends of mine, actually, whether it was for Thanksgiving and hosting with family, or if it was the big game that happened on Saturday and you were very happy with the outcome, you toast with your friends. Cheers, my friends. And you rang it out with the awesome bourbon from Coppercraft. It's fantastic. It's award-winning. Double gold the International Spirits Competition a couple of years ago. They also have a blended bourbon and a rye whiskey, which the rye just took home a gold
and their cell phones
spirits competition. But they've also got something you got to be on the lookout for. Hard to find, but it's worth it if you find it. Single barrel bourbon from Coppercraft. It's 105 proof. But it's fantastic. Throw some ice cubes in there, let it mellow out a little bit, and you're going to be amazed by the flavor. But Coppercraft isn't just limited to the whiskey family. They've got the clear spirits as well, a rum, a vodka, a citrus-flavored vodka, and an award-winning gin. Plus, they've got canned cocktails, and everybody loves it in the can. 8 different flavors of canned cocktails, including an iced tea lemonade, the Honolulu Blue, which is homage to the Detroit Lions. They've got a Moscow Mule and a gin and tonic right there in the can. Coppercraft takes care of you with all their adult beverages, whether it's the canned cocktails they have or the bottled spirits. You're going to love them all because they take their time when they distill the finest spirits around. They don't rush anything. Everything is aged to perfection. So go ahead and show some love for a Michigan-made product and learn more at CoppercraftDistillery.com. Coppercraft Distillery. Never when it's young, only when it's ready. But please, drink responsibly.
Football season is underway, so now is the perfect time to download FanDuel, America's #1 sportsbook. Why? Because right now, new customers get a no-sweat first bet up to $1,000. That's free bets back if your first bet doesn't win. Just sign up with promo code WOJO. You can bet your favorite team, bet a money line, bet your favorite player to go over or under a certain amount of yards. Whatever you wish. It's an app that's safe, secure, and super easy to use. Sign up today with promo code WOJO for your no-sweat first bet. Make every moment matter more this season with FanDuel, the official sportsbook partner of the NFL. Must be 21 or older and present in Michigan. First online real money wager only. Refund issued as non-withdrawable free bets that expire in 14 days. Restrictions apply. See terms at sportsbook.fanduel.com. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-270-7117.
Without the ones like you, who work tirelessly to keep things running, everything would suddenly stop. Hospitals, factories, schools, and power plants, they all depend on you. No matter the weather, emergency, or time of day, you're the ones who get it done. At Grainger, we're here for you 24/7 with supplies and solutions for every industry and access to product specialists ready to help. Call, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
At the Home Depot, we have the tools for you to give the gift of a smarter home with savings on top brands, like the Google Hub, a command center for your smart devices that raises the IQ of your entire home, or the Nest Learning Thermostat that helps you conserve energy and save on your bill. And if you don't know what to get, gift cards are a smart gift no matter what they get. So this year, gift smarter with savings on tools to make your holiday magic. The Home Depot, how doers get more done.
Without the ones like you, who work tirelessly to keep things running, everything would suddenly stop. Hospitals, factories, schools, and power plants, they all depend on you. No matter the weather, emergency, or time of day, you're the ones who get it done. At Grainger, we're here for you 24/7 with supplies and solutions for every industry and access to product specialists ready to help. Call, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Today, partly to mostly cloudy, high of 43. Weather brought to you by Pfizer and BioNTech. This fall, there are now updated COVID-19 booster shots designed for recent Omicron variants. Learn more and schedule your updated booster at vaccines.gov.
Do you have an opinion? Of course you do. Call the D Las Vegas 97.1 The Ticket Studio line at 248-539-9797. It's a D Las Vegas, the home of Detroit sports in Vegas.
Jared Goff joins Carson Anderson Tuesdays at 10:30 on 97.1 The Ticket.
Donovan Edwards in the backfield. Next to J.J. McCarthy from a shotgun, standing on his own 20. That's the snap. Inside handoff. Edwards, he's got some room to the 30, to the 40, to the 45, to the 50. Can he outrun the Buckeyes? To the 30, to the 20, to the 15, to the 10. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Touchdown, Donovan Edwards! Yeah, baby! 5 yards!
Oh, my goodness! John started happy.
John was happy. John was near a three-point stance at one point. Somebody took a picture in the booth, and John is crouched over. It looks like he's firing out of a three-point stance while we're in the middle of a play. He leans into it, and certainly he was pretty happy on Saturday, as was just about everybody. Michigan fans nationwide, big win. Now it's off the Big Ten title game. Do you think they're in no matter what, Gator?
Yes, I do. Because they beat Ohio State, and Ohio State has no way to improve themselves. Even if they were to lose to Purdue, it's hard for me to find a way that they're out because, okay, how would it have to happen? USC is likely in right now as the fourth team.
Yep.
So, all right. So who's going to jump? I mean, who's going to be the fifth? Who's going to be
the only other option would be Alabama,
right? Which we know Nick Saban's lobbying for it, but a 2-loss Bama team is not going to get in over a 1-loss Michigan team when Michigan beat Ohio State.
Michigan would have wins over 2 teams in the top 10 in Ohio State and Penn State, and Bama's best wins would be Texas and Mississippi State, who I think are 21 and 25. I mean, that might change a couple days. It's weird to think that in the end of all of this, that Michigan's schedule and their wins might be better than Bama's, but it may turn out to be the case.
That's because Bama lost twice. That's what happens. It's why it's tough when you look at teams that look like they had a real shot, like Tennessee. But then Tennessee not only lose to Georgia, but then they totally fell flat in that game against South Carolina. And what are you going to do? But then South Carolina validates that with a big win over Clemson.
So the question is, when these rankings are released, the only drama is who's 5, Bama or Ohio State, because neither of them can improve themselves. So whoever's 5 is the one waiting in case there's a trap for
every time we're near Peachtree Court.
Well, that's the thing. Right? If TCU loses,
I think they're still in.
Probably. Well, they've got the resume where they've beaten. I mean, the teams they beat them when they were ranked in the top 25, but I don't know if any of them are still ranked in the top 25.
Yeah.
Which is straight ahead.
So I don't know how much credit you get for that. It's like, oh, hey, we beat Michigan State early in the year when they were ranked 11. Well, do you?
Yeah.
And the Pac-12 has totally cannibalized itself. So they're not going to get another team that doesn't have a chance there.
Ohio State's in a weird position where they almost have to root for Michigan to win so that they don't drop down to 4.
Yeah.
Because you can't, in good conscience, put Ohio State ahead of Michigan.
I would think Ohio State drops to 5, and that they're the team that could get in if, say, USC loses.
Yeah. 248-539-9797. Phone calls, feedback. Carson Anderson. Let's go to Doug, who's next here on 97 The Ticket. Hello, Doug.
Hey, how you guys doing?
All right, Doug.
Good, thanks.
I just wanted to say, I'm 52 years old, and the way they beat Penn State this year was when I realized that I had never seen anything like that before. Jim Harbaugh is a mad scientist of college football, like John Beilein was of college basketball. He's not getting the 5-star recruits, but he's recruiting and putting a system in that can beat them.
But he is getting the 5-star recruits. He had a 5-star running back. He's got a quarterback. He's got a defensive back. I mean,
not as many as Ohio State.
No, but
that's my
went out and got the best player in the transfer portal on the offensive line. He's recruited just fine.
Yeah, but it's not at the level that Ohio State has been, and they just drugged him. So I just think he's just done a phenomenal job. So.
Took him a while to figure. I mean, is it safe to say that it took Harbaugh a while to figure out college football and how he wanted to approach it? And we talked about, is this, when it got off to a bit of a rocky start, was it going to go the way of Dabo? Dabo got off to a rocky start at Clemson where they were good, but there was always something lacking, and it kept losing to South Carolina, and then Dabo kind of got it up and running, and it feels like it's taken that kind of timeline. And I think Harbaugh now has navigated college football, figured some stuff out. And yeah, I mean, it seems to me, Doug, that he's got some clue on how he wants to put a team together to win at the collegiate level.
Well, maybe the smartest thing he did was listen to his brother. Yeah. And go raid the Ravens for a defensive coordinator, and then go do it again when you lose them back to the Ravens. So.
Well, that's the thing I kind of want to bring up too. Is this is recency bias because of the last 2 seasons, the success that Harbaugh
best 2 seasons Michigan's had in their storied, careers.
With that being said, is Harbaugh building something right now where, I mean, it's underreported. I think he lost both his coordinators and they're undefeated. You know, like not just 2 coordinators, the coordinator of the year, and then the other one goes to the NFL, right?
Yeah.
I mean.
You're right, exactly. I think it's defensively is what's been impressive, right? That defense last year, I still maintain the defense last year is better than the defense this year. They faced more adversity and they came through it. They were more dominant. This one hasn't faced the offenses that last year's did. This is a really good defense. And to go out and when you lose the defensive coordinator, but you get a guy who's going to do and pick up the same principles and do the same thing, that's really smart. I don't know if their offense doesn't look like it's anything like cutting edge. I mean, they've got great running backs, they've got a great offensive line, and the quarterback play has been, iffy this year. Now, on Saturday, McCarthy hit guys who were wide open in the first half, and I don't know how many big passes he hit in the second half, but he made plays with his feet that everybody's been asking him to do, take off and run, and he did. And there was an adjustment he made. But it wasn't like he was dynamic. He was good. He did what he had to do. But that running game, when you've got your choice between Corum and Edwards, those are nice decisions to be able to make.
Feedback first from Josh. Champ the Michigan secondary with little or no pass rush. They came up huge. Chump the Commander's terrible attempt at Sean
New
Taylor's
asphalt.
statue. Looks like a mannequin. Champ Donovan Edwards making plays to seal the victory. Chump the Pistons. They are just bad with or without all their starters playing.
I'm going to make a body out of rebar. And they're going to put a jersey.
It wasn't even a mannequin. Yeah, it was less than a mannequin. It looked like they were hey, would you like to buy a jersey and a helmet? It was on display. Like, did
it really did look like it was on display.
Yeah, did they go to the local Under Armour store and ask to take one and go in the back?
Hey, come to the Commander's shop and buy a retro helmet.
There you go. From Scott, Champ, Donovan Edwards, running like he hates the ground. Chump, yeah, the Sean Taylor statue. Hello, welcome to Foot Locker. Creepy and dumb and, yeah, disrespectful. 248-539-9797. More of your phone calls and feedback coming up. Got some Lions stuff to get to as well. Talk Spartans a little bit later on. 97.1, The Ticket.
97.1, The Ticket.
You've heard me talk about USA Insulation and how warm it keeps your home. But what do their customers say?
The house feels very comfortable. There's no walking in and out of different rooms and having different temperatures. It's all constant, so it's comfortable. You don't have to worry about bringing a sweater with you into the living room or anything.
It was really cold in here. And then I got the insulation, and it's very comfortable in here, even on the second floor.
It made a much bigger difference to the house than I expected it to, honestly. Yes, I expected warmth and I expected savings, but the added benefit of the less noise and just having a really comfortable home.
Oh, I tell everybody that they should. Get USA Insulation. It makes a huge difference.
Call now for a $500 early bird discount to get your home ready for winter. 800-USA-FOAM or USAinsulation.net. That's 800-USA-FOAM or USAinsulation.net.
USA Insulation.
It's nice to know when someone's got your back, like DTE Energy. Even as the cost of natural gas is rising, DTE is working hard to keep it down, especially this winter. We buy gas throughout the year and store it to save money and keep prices more stable. Then we pass the savings on to you. We do everything we can to keep warm, safe natural gas affordable. DTE. For all the dinners cooked.
Something smells good.
For all the clothes dried. For all the hot showers. There's safe, reliable natural gas from DTE. We keep gas safe by constantly inspecting, upgrading, and monitoring our lines 24/7, 365. So for all you do, natural gas is there for you. Find out more at DTEenergy.com. DTE.
When a cold comes on strong, knock it out with Vicks DayQuil Severe for max strength daytime relief. Just one dose of Vicks DayQuil Severe starts to relieve 9 of your worst cold and flu symptoms to help take you from 9 to none. Power through your day with Vicks DayQuil Severe, the daytime non-drowsy, coughing, aching, fever, sore throat, 9 to none medicine. Use as directed.
What?
Okay, smile naturally. Perfect.
Cam's Photography knows wedding season ramps up in a flash. They need to say I do to a studio assistant before clients go full Brightzilla.
I'm so sorry. I have to get a different lens. I'll be right back.
Indeed can help them hire great people fast.
I need Indeed.
Indeed you do. We instantly connect you with quality candidates whose resumes on Indeed match your job description. Visit Indeed.com/credit and get $75 towards your first sponsored job. Terms and conditions apply.
Join us for the 41st Annual Holiday Extravaganza Parade on Saturday, December 3rd at 8:30 a.m. in downtown Pontiac, followed by the free Winter Fun Festival at 11 a.m. Presented by Genesis Credit Union, Lee Industrial Contracting, and Oakland County Michigan Works.
97.1 The Ticket is hooking you up with Michigan Lottery tickets. Look for us at events for your chance to win the $5 loaded. You could win over 5,000 prizes of $500. A little play can make your day.
This hour of instant feedback brought to you by Mike Papura of National Benefit Plans. For affordable health health insurance, log on to nbphealth.com.
The latest on the NBA, the NHL, the NFL, and the MLB on the Boston Balls Podcast with Pat Caputo. Get it on the Odyssey app or wherever you get your podcasts.
Hard to say right now because this is not the outcome that we all envisioned. I thought we had a really good preparation. I thought we were building towards playing really well in this game, and we were fighting there in the first half, and I felt really good going into the second half, and we just didn't execute well enough in the second half. So I don't know how to answer that other than I thought we played hard. I thought we were fighting out there, but in the end we came up short.
Ryan Day, head coach at Ohio State. Michigan wins down in Columbus. Wolverines, amazing stat. The Michigan, Ohio State, and Penn State, the only losses they had came to each other. Penn State lost to Ohio State and Michigan. Ohio State just lost to Michigan. They're both in the top 10, and Michigan outscored those two teams 53-6 in the second half, which speaks to halftime adjustments. And talking to people down there, they kind of downplay it, but we'll get to that in a bit. We said we'd get to some Lions stuff and promised it now, so I want to follow through on that. Gator, they lose on Thanksgiving Day to Buffalo 28-25, and they stared down a Super Bowl favorite and lost by a whisker. And the question is, does that matter at all? Does it matter at all in the arc of where the Lions organization is? And there's a term that whenever you talk about anything positive coming out of a loss, the people will throw out there and say, I don't believe in moral victories.
Right.
And I hear you. I understand the hostility towards it. And the reason there is hostility, and justifiable hostility towards it in the world of the Lions fan, is moral victories. To me, the definition of that is, even in a loss, you can see that the team is getting better and that there are better things on the horizon. And in Detroit, no moral victories have led to great things, right? Nothing in the past, honestly, has led to being an established, consistent, very good to elite NFL team. So to tell people that there are signs, or that in a loss there are signs of them trending in the right direction, rings hollow to a lot of people for good reason, because it never has been indicative of things to come. Romo at one point during the broadcast said, and the quote was, "The Detroit Lions are for real, regardless of how this turns out." And I'm thinking, I don't know how well that's going to play in Detroit. It's cool that an outsider comes in and gives sort of they don't have emotional ties to the team, and they don't go back as far as the local fans do, but can they maybe see something objectively that says, hey, there are signs here of them being good? I'd like to believe so, and I think you and I reset the clock to zero every time a new regime comes in, and I'll give you an example of something that I think is, how do you look at it and say, well, that's not encouraging, because they had a late 6th-round pick, played 5 snaps, and now has more sacks on the season than Kayvon Thibodeau. and that's the problem. Houston, yeah. James Houston. He played 5 snaps. I think the first snap of his NFL career was on special teams when Khalif Raymond fumbled the punt.
And he recovered.
And James Houston recovered it. Now, is that just dumb luck that the ball bounced to him? Or did that guy actually impact the game in a positive way in a limited role that is trending in a very positive direction as a check plus for Brad Holmes? 5 snaps is no reason to be doing victory laps. I understand.
No, it's not. But, I mean, you can't ignore that he got to the quarterback twice. I mean, those weren't like, coverage sack. Hey, the quarterback had 6 seconds to throw around. I mean, he beat his man to get to the quarterback. And that's what he did in college. That's why it was, I mean, his statistics were eye-popping. We had like 20 sacks in a season. I mean, it was incredible. So you wanted to see, how is that going to translate in the NFL? Because he went to Jackson State, so he didn't play at a big school. He's not an oversized guy, but he's got talent. He's got a knack. And we didn't see a whole lot of it in the preseason. They've been excited about him, working with him all year long in practice, and then he gets elevated for the practice squad. And when I got to the game on on Thursday, and you get that sheet that when you sit down, it says, here are the inactives, and here's been promoted. I'm like, oh, well, he's been promoted from practice squad. That's interesting. I wonder if he's going to get in there. And then he does, and he makes an impact, and I'm wondering, why isn't he getting more opportunities to play in this game? Find out afterwards, well, he was cramping up. Right. And it's weird that you're cramping up when it's, in November in Detroit, but I just think he was so damn excited that just everything kind of came together for him, and hopefully he'll be ready to practice more and get more opportunities to play because he does have a knack. Now, as far as the moral victory thing is concerned, I agree. Nobody wants to hear moral victory. But here's where you take this game and you put it in context for the rest of the way and say, okay, you're right. There's no moral victories, and it sucks that you lose to a team that you look like you had a chance to beat. You missed on the 3rd and 1 play, but you got the long field goal to tie it. You're thinking of going to overtime, and rug gets yanked out from underneath you. But what it says is, fair enough. You lost to the Bills. Bills are a really good football team. Just like earlier in the season, you'd lost to Minnesota. Minnesota's a really good football team. You lost to Philadelphia. Really good football team. All 3 of those games are 3-point games? So here's the deal. The standard now for the last 6 games is that you play as well as you did in those 3 games where you had a chance to win, but you didn't. If you play that well, you should win the majority of these games. Can you go 4-2 down the stretch? You've got 3 games against interdivision foes. 2 of those are at home. Last game of the season is at Green Bay. And then you've got Carolina, Jacksonville, and the Jets are your other 3 games, with Jacksonville being the first one to play. Can you play like you did against those top teams, those division-leading teams? Can you do that against Jacksonville, the Jets, Carolina, again against Chicago, again against Green Bay, and again against Minnesota? If you do, you'll go 4-2, and 4-2 gets you 8 wins. Do you dare say, can you go 5-1? I mean, because this is now where you're resetting things, because the team is going to look different. I can't wait to hear this week of who's going to be at practice and who's pushing for playing time and who may play on Sunday. Will Jameson Williams be back? Will Romeo Okwara be back? Is Jeff Okudah going to be healthy? You think they missed Jeff Okudah in that game on Thursday?
Gator, I do.
I mean, honestly, this is I'm impressed is the wrong word, because impressed feels like, okay, here they are, and that's not it. It's strongly encouraged by the way that they play, and I think that, yeah, there were some mistakes, game management by Dan Campbell. I agree. There's mistakes with that in that game and all throughout the season. But that guy gambles when he believes in his players, and if he didn't, the team wouldn't be where they're at. And I think the team plays for him. They play for each other. It's a good marriage there. And maybe he needs to hire somebody with some more game management skills in terms of working the clock or whatever. Other teams do it. They do it in the college ranks as well. I wouldn't mind if they did that. But this team has a direction, and they're going in the right direction.
Well, and there was a trend. I mean, the Lions spent that whole game establishing a trend of unpredictability. Ben Johnson, the offensive coordinator, and Dan Campbell, they, on 3rd and 4 early, they ran it, right? It feels like a pass down. The last drive of the first half, 3rd and goal from the 6, they ran it with Swift for 5 yards, went for it on 4th down and got it. Last drive of the game, early on 3rd and 6, they ran it for 5.5 yards. And then on 3rd and 1, after being unpredictable, they were unpredictable again on that deep ball to Chark. And Dan Campbell said, when he was asked about it, he simply said, yeah, we could have, should he have run it? He said, well, I could have done that. But Ben Johnson and him, I think what got him there was their unpredictability, and they stuck with it. And in the moment where a lot of people are questioning that play call, it was a bad play call or bad execution. You thought it was back shoulder throw.
Yeah, I thought it was just a mix-up. The quarterback's thinking it's going to be back shoulder, and the receiver wants to change the play in mid-route when he throws his hand up as if to say, forget what we were going to do. I'm going deep. And the Goff's arm was already in motion. So you got to execute the plays when they're in front of you. As far as running the ball, if they were to try to run it on 3rd and 1, likelihood is they get stuffed because they couldn't run it all game long. You pointed out plays where they actually ran it well.
Yeah.
But those were the unconventional plays. Down a distance you wouldn't expect them to run. They did, and they got those yards. When they were expected to run and they did run.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
I know people. I would argue no.
No.
Hello.
Why'd you FaceTime me?
That was a mistake. It's hard to hit those little buttons when I'm driving.
Oh boy.
What's going on?
Not too much. Got a nice view of your line locator.
You got a nice view of my line locator.
Yeah, I'm watching you right now. I accepted your FaceTime call.
Oh, I can't see you, but cool.
That's alright. Oh man, did you see that DO job?
Yeah, that's where I'm headed.
Okay, I wasn't sure if you did. You were just wanting to do it tomorrow morning or not.
I just figured I'd do it now. It's got waste a good couple hours.
Rick gave you the okay?
Yeah, he did. As long as we get back to Detroit before it's punch out time.
There you go.
We'll be good.
Alright. Wasn't sure if you saw that or not, so.
Oh, we did. I figured it'd be a good one to do. I did all the Metadels. I went to Archdale and Andrew was already doing them.
Yeah, I saw you at Archdale done.
So we got the Metadels done, and then it's an hour drive out here, so I figure I'd do that. Another hour drive back. I'll get most of the day done.
Yeah, for sure.
Starting route to 35.
What else is going on?
Not much. I just over on Russell right now, getting a couple pictures.
How was it at the office or at the yard?
I don't know. It wasn't a big deal. It didn't seem like.
Oh, that's good.
Ryan was there with Mike Malloy, but John wasn't there. Brett's off today. Kyle wasn't at the yard, so I talked to Ryan briefly about it. He said, "Yeah, Kyle dropped the ball on that, but I don't know. It didn't seem like it was that big of an issue, so okay."
Yeah, not a big deal right now. If this had happened in April or May, then yeah, that would have been a big deal.
Oh yeah, for sure. So yeah, I'm just looking for stuff to keep me busy.
Well, you come out and join us out in Pinckney.
Oh yeah, it's too far to drive for me.
It's a hike. Not to mention all the construction on the freeways. We actually got off the freeway.
Oh really?
Yeah. We were in a traffic jam, so we figured we'd be quicker just to get off the freeway and drive.
Yeah, for sure.
I don't know quicker, but at least we're moving.
Right on.
How you doing, Rick?
Doing good.
Here, let me call you back off of this FaceTime call.
All right.
All right.
Bye. See if he calls back. Hello.
There you go. That's better.
Much better. Oh. Went to bed too late last night.
You what?
Said I went to bed too late. It was midnight before I fell asleep. I just too old to do that. Feel like
Yeah. The sooner you get to bed, the sooner you had to wake up and go to work.
yeah. That's the problem. Close my eyes when I open them again. I'm gonna have to be getting ready to go.
Exactly.
But I've got Rick to get me out.
Mm-hmm.
There you go. How was your guys' weekend?
Pretty good. We just went over to my sister's for Thanksgiving. Everybody was there, and then Friday we went to Kensington in the morning, and then went back in the evening to try to do that time-lapse photography. And then I didn't do shit on Saturday. I watched the football game, and that was basically it. On Sunday, I watched football all day.
Nice.
Didn't really do anything. It was a nice relaxing weekend.
Yeah, those are nice ones there.
It's a nice change of scenery out here. Farm fields.
So I just ran into Edgar over here on Russell, and Mary Bell's out here taking pictures and closing other jobs. That's why I asked him, I go, because some of the pictures I was looking at, some of the jobs, it was like, it looked like, I mean, it was like pitch black, and I was asking, I was like, was Mary Bell really out here closing these jobs, like, at night? He's like, yeah, he's like, I told her not to, but she's like, oh, I gotta get them closed. I'm like, yeah, I don't feel safe on this street, like, in the middle of the day, let alone if I was out here, like, 7 o'clock at night, pitch black, taking pictures.
Exactly.
But,
not to mention the pictures, you can't see anything in them anyway.
yeah, I mean, you can, with the flash, you can kind of see, like, the concrete, but, yeah, I mean, you can't really, like, see the house or anything.
This one is ways out, boy.
Yeah. I figured you'd like that.
Yeah. Not complaining. We're getting close though. We're only 5 minutes away. Of the building was like the whole roof was taken off and put on the ground, and it was all busted up. Looked like it was burned. Looked like it caught fire, and they were redoing it.
Damn.
I never seen anybody take the whole roof off like that. Just lay it down.
Yeah.
Listen to all those birds.
Ghetto birds. Oh, shit.
all weekend?
Thursday went to my parents in the morning, and then we had her family over for Thanksgiving. Watched the game, just hung out. Friday I did absolutely nothing. She went Black Friday shopping a couple places, kept asking me if I wanted to go, and I'm like, no. She's like, you don't want to spend the day with me. I'm like, people make choices to go shopping on Black Friday. I'm not one of those people. So then Saturday, she babysit her nephew while her brother went out to watch the Michigan game, and then I took her over there, and then she was going to drive her dad's car back to our house because her dad's staying with us since he had surgery on his knee. So then when we were out there, her brothers asked me to go with him, so I'm like, all right. So I went up to Southport on Hall Road and watched the Michigan game with them. Went home. By the time she got home from her brother, she was all pissed because he was out too late. I'm like, well, we were watching the game and the game didn't end. So she was pissed off about that, and then we ended up having to go to her cousin's out in like 30 Mile and Romeo Plank Saturday night after all that for a birthday party, which sucks. And then Sunday met Brett at his old house at like 9 in the morning, and like 12 of us moved all this stuff out of that house and into his new house in Oxford. And then I just got home and watched football the rest of the day. And punched around the house because I can barely walk with my back.
Yeah, that sucks.
Yep.
Backs are the worst.
This is getting kind of old though, every other week.
Yeah.
Yeah, I need to stretch better before I bowl or something, because it seems like after bowling is when it's aggravated.
Yeah. I don't know if you can wear like a back brace or something when you bowl. See if that helps.
Yeah, I could. Might mess up my form though.
You have form?
Oh yeah, when it comes to bowling, and the best one. So I'm just hoping that it gets a little bit better by Thursday morning. I don't want to be all uncomfortable on the plane.
Yeah. Be standing up the whole flight.
Yeah, or uncomfortable just trying to walk around in Florida. Oh well, I can make do.
When you get down in warm weather, it'll probably feel better.
Yeah, hopefully.
Plus, you're not sitting in a truck all day.
Exactly.
All right, I'm here.
How's it look?
It's hard to say because there's traffic. Somebody's doing something right now. They're still here. It looks like.
Oh really?
Yeah. This is consumers.
This is a DO job, I know.
Yeah, but there's consumers is digging right here. This is it. Is this it, Rick?
Yeah.
Okay. It doesn't look bad. It looks like it's just around the pole. Looks like they put a new pole up in the back.